Go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I may be stealing a little bit from our city manager here, but I really do want to congratulate a couple people up here. I'm a big supporter of the cannabis industry. I had no idea that that would happen, and so that's just deeply terrifying, and I want to make sure that we have a plan for that, given that it's not the first sinkhole in the last year. So I think that's deeply troubling. And Connie, I would love to know what the contractor came up with in terms of why that happened besides the arroyo. I think that just feels really important to me. I feel like, not to get real meta here, but sinkholes are more and more frequent now with climate change, and I just think that that's a real concern for all of us. I also wanted to address the cannabis industry. I'm a big supporter of the cannabis industry for many reasons. I think many of you all know. 2 weeks ago as well, I was they invited me to the cannabis convention of the Southwest, and I was very proud to be there and help give the welcome. Almost 1,000 people came through that Saturday, visiting with businesses, and I got to meet these young folks who are like, this is their career now, and they are incredibly smart and for decades. And of course, cannabis has been legal for a couple of years, and it is interesting that it is very sudden, and I think that's deeply troubling. And so I'll continue to talk to the city manager about what we could do as the city that could push back on this sudden enforcement and how it's impacting our economic vitality here in the border of New Mexico. I will say though to the industry that I would love to keep having conversations with you about how we could be more supportive. I will tell you right now that I am not a supporter of bringing back Operation Stone Garden funds. Operation Stone Garden are deeply troubling funds that frankly I believe come with strings attached in terms of federal immigration agencies working with local law enforcement agencies, and that impacts the trust that many of our communities have. Especially if you're living as an undocumented American. I thought Stone Garden was removed from city budget a long time ago. I think Councilor Flores is probably the only councilor left that was part of that vote, but that is not something I would support bringing back. However, I'm absolutely open to having this conversation with you all and coming up with other ideas about how we can push back. It is no secret about how I feel about the Border Patrol, and that I've always found, and they are deeply unconstitutional, these internal Border Patrol checkpoints within the 100-mile border enforcement zone. So happy to keep talking about that. And then just the last thing that I want to very much have taken it upon myself to advocate for District 4, especially in terms of the NAT properties, the Neighborhood Action Team, or the Nuisance Abatement Team properties. Just on Friday, I took Connie on a tour of the MacArthur Elementary neighborhood, where there are 18 abandoned homes, and many of them are a serious public health hazard, not only to the neighborhood, to folks who may be staying there and trying to find shelter, to our fire crews, to our codes crews, and so they are just this huge public safety issue. And then additionally, I think there are commercial properties that have been long abandoned with very little movement to actually get them either rented out or sold. And so I would love it if staff, and I know as City Attorney Brad Douglas is already looking into it, but I wanted to bring that up as we're talking about other kinds of taxes. I think a vacant property tax sets a really firm line in the sand in terms of your responsibility as a property owner to the rest of your neighborhood. So just wanted to bring that up. Hopefully we can get some information about that and bring it to a council.